your awareness, we are waiting for Mr. Becerra still, so.
It'll give us a chance to, we
Turn
can.
off your time.
You got room there?
The Ways and Means Committee will now come to order, and the chair has determined that a quorum is present. We are holding today's meeting in a hybrid format in compliance with the rules and regulations for remote committee proceedings pursuant to Resolution 8. Before we begin, I want to remind you of a few procedures to keep these proceedings running smoothly. First, consistent with regulations, the committee will keep microphones muted to limit background noise. Members are responsible for unmuting themselves when they seek recognition or when recognized. Committee staff will mute members only in the event of an inadvertent background noise. Second, the members are present in the proceeding via WebEx while they must have their cameras on. If you need to step away to attend another proceeding, please turn your camera and audio off rather than logging out of the platform. Finally, when a question is put before the committee, members who are present on the WebEx platform are reminded to unmute themselves for a voice vote. And with that, let me turn to today's business. We are convened for the purpose of considering the committee's views and estimates for fiscal year 2023 pursuant to notice and in accordance with the requirements of Section 301D of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 and House Rule 10, Clause 40F. Members have received a copy of the letter to the Budget Committee in advance of today's meeting. Let me thank Mr. Brady, the ranking member, for working with us on this matter so that we can submit a consensus document to the Budget Committee that reflects the priorities of the Ways and Means Committee as a whole. With that, let me recognize the ranking member, Mr. Brady, for further comments that he might like to add.
So thank you. I want to thank the chairman for continuing the tradition of working across the aisle to create a consensus on the committee's budget views and estimates. This is a routine submission, lays out the broad goals for the committee, goals that we agree on. I think the challenge here is that, I think we can do more together to achieve the objectives we lay out. I'm really appreciative the majority listened to our feedback in drafting the letter, but I am disappointed we didn't get a chance to shape as much of the legislation that in our jurisdiction has gone to the floor. We did great work on ending importation of Russian oil and suspending normal trade relations with Russia and Belarus. But the Affordable Insulin Act, the MORE Act, the Postal Service Reform Bill, we would have welcomed discussion in committee markups on those and other pieces of legislation. We think there is common ground on issues like prescription drugs, and have worked on a bipartisan basis, our members, on a number of smart approaches to lower prescription drugs. That got thrown aside for H.R. 3, the Fewer Cures bill. And so, Mr. Chairman, my point to you is, look, we want to work with you. We want to pursue an agenda that we've agreed on together. Bipartisanship has been a hallmark of this committee. The Secure 2.0 is another example. Really great work. Thing is, too, as in the past, we have really talented members, both sides of the aisle, that have developed, I think, good solutions in healthcare and trade and Social Security, and even fine-tuning the tax areas. And so the clock is ticking on the session, and I'm hopeful we can sort of find some blue sky time, you know what I mean, to bring some of these bills together, because I think we have a special ability to find common ground, and I want to make full use of that through the rest of the session. And I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. The committee will now proceed to consideration of the annual budget views and estimates for fiscal year 2023. Without objection, the views and estimates will be considered as read and open for amendment at any point. If there are no amendments, let me now recognize Mr. Doggett for the purpose of offering a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the committee do favorably transmit the committee's annual budget views and estimates letter for fiscal year 2023 to the Committee on Budget.
Thank you, Mr. Doggett. The question is on transmitting the Ways and Means Committee budget views and estimates for fiscal year 2023 to the Committee on the Budget. Members are reminded to unmute themselves for the voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the views and estimates are ordered transmitted to the Committee on Budget. Without objection, staff are authorized to make technical and conforming changes, and members have 2 additional days to file with the committee clerk supplemental, additional, dissenting, or minority views. That would conclude our meeting on budget views and estimates. Members are advised that we will be moving promptly to our hearing with Mr. Becerra, the Secretary